From the Denver Broncos Media Center, welcome to Broncos Country Tonight.
Welcome to Broncos Country Tonight as we continue to break down what the Broncos have done in the preseason so far versus the Cowboys, versus the Bills. Got the Vikings coming up this week, and to do all that, the Hall of Famer himself, Steve Atwater, in studio. What up, Steve?
What up, R. Edwards? Benjamin Allbright, what's the word?
Well, the word is trouble in paradise, at least right now, for some Broncos fans.
No trouble.
All right. Explain to me, and I really want to dial in on the defensive side of the ball, which seems to be your expertise, based on history and such. But I really want to spend some time on the defensive side of the ball today. But why? Why are you not concerned overall?
Well, first off, these games don't count. They never have counted. We've gone 3-0, sometimes in preseason, 4-0. It didn't matter in the regular season. And we've also had multiple injuries in the preseason in the past as well. So the main thing is getting to the regular season healthy, and when it counts, that's when I want to see the guys do their things. And, I had Mark Schlereth on our training camp show, and one of the things he was talking about kind of before the show was that most NFL teams now, they use pretty much the first 3-4 games of the season, almost like preseason used to be, to where they get the starters up to full speed. Now, obviously, they get some of that out in practice, but you can't model the physicality of the game.
Okay, well, understanding the whole using the first part of the first part of the season as a preseason, I feel like that only works in the circumstances where you have a relatively, weak seems like a strong word, but a relatively soft schedule, especially when it comes to your division, right? The Patriots did that for years, and we'd always say, this is it. The Patriots are done. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, they get to play the Dolphins and the Jets, and at that time, the Bills weren't all that great. So guess what? Backloaded on the schedule, they get a bunch of wins anyway. So it worked for them. The Broncos don't have that ability here.
Yeah, but would you say our schedule is stronger at the beginning or the end of
the end? And that's a good point. But again, you need these wins now. Like, you can't just use these games as preseason. It's like, hey, it's all right if you fall to the Seahawks and the Texans, and it's going to be all right.
Yeah, you're right, 100%. Because we got some, especially coming off the break, we got some really tough games coming up after the bye week. So we got to go into the bye strong. 9-2.
Well, I was going to say undefeated if it's Steve Atwater's.
Yeah, man, yeah. I love that.
Well, first of all, how dare you discount this man's experience on the offensive side of the ball? Steve Atwater was a quarterback before he was a safety.
That's true. Hall of Famer.
Converted to the dark side. So
yeah. Just like he was a Bronco before a Jet. Yes, exactly. I think we have to include all.
Are you comparing the defensive side of his career to his Jets career?
I'm just saying
that's where you went with that analogy.
We have to include all of his experience.
Hey, guess what, guys? I'm here. Hello.
We have to include all of the experience.
But you're absolutely right. Like, that's the thing that worries me, is that you're going to get to the beginning of the season and you're going to be up against a team like the Seahawks, who have been playing starters in the preseason. They've already been punched in the mouth. They've already built calluses up. They already know what that feels like. And now your starters are going to go out there and feel that on that first drive. You just throwing that first drive away? How many drives you get in a game? What, 8?
No. I'm with you on that. And, some of this is experimental, because we haven't done this with this team and these coaches before. So, we'll see how it goes, because some teams you can go in and you can have this mentality that, hey, we're not going to play guys, but I don't know if you can do that with everyone. And, we're going to find out if this is the kind of team you can do that with. Obviously, our second team didn't look that well this past game, and those are some guys. If the team was built with the second team guys, then you would say, "Oh, we got to have some physicality in practice to make sure that we're ready." Mm-hmm. But hopefully, the ones are a little bit different breed, and they'll be able to get up to speed, and hopefully they're getting some thudding in practice to where they're getting used to the physicality, maybe hitting the big bag out there. Just so they can be ready to, handle someone running them full speed, because that's not normal, right? It's not normal. You don't handle that everyday life, right? Somebody run at you full speed, you got to tackle them, or you're running full speed. Well, you may run full speed, it's not going to be that fast.
It's a light jog. But
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. When you have a brisk walk toward me, I run the other way. Yeah, exactly. No, it's exactly.
But I'm just saying, that's not
normal.
The norm.
Right.
So you gotta get used to that. I take it the best way that they're doing it now is, getting that speed up, going up, and then pulling off at the last second, getting in position, but not actually making a tackle. But hopefully it'll carry over.
All right, so not to insult your expertise as a former quarterback, but let's dial in on the defensive side of the ball just for a little bit. The Broncos are struggling against the run, right? They're struggling to get pressures in the first two games. This is consistent, especially with the struggling against the run, giving up 5 yards per carry in the first game, almost 8 yards per carry against the Buffalo Bills. Now, I understand a little bit of this is a cascade effect, right? It's like if you can't stop one, then they're gonna keep hitting you with that, and then when you can't stop both, they're gonna do whatever they want. They can do whatever they want. I mean, they completed 90% of their passes, Steve. So when you're completing a 90% clip and you're running it for 8 yards per carry, it's just there's nothing you can do. So what's your concern there? What can they do to fix it?
Obviously, these aren't the starters. Guys are playing together that may not necessarily be on the same page, but as you know, football starts with stopping the run game defensively. And
have to.
You got to have some guys up front that are tough, physical, that can get off blocks, that can, get into the backfield and, make plays in the backfield. And you got to have linebackers that are feeling, that know what they're doing. And, right now our linebackers, with the injury to Jonas Griffith and, we got some new guys in there who've been very productive, but they don't know the system yet. So, I know it sounds like an excuse. It kind of is. But
that's preseason,
but
right?
At the end of the day, this is football, right? And the guys are going to have to be hard-nosed. They're going to have to fill those gaps and take on those blockers head on. And, I'm seeing a little bit too much, swimming and, trying to use their hands. Man, you got to stick your head in there. You can have helmet-to-helmet contact, but it's helmet-to-helmet contact.
I do think there's something important. No, you're 100% right. I think there's something important also, by the way, with where the Bills are at as a team building. And you and I talked about this on Broncos Country Tonight, the radio show. There's something to be said about where the Bills are at as their team building. This is years in the making.
Yeah, they're like 5-6 years into this build.
Yes.
They've got depth on that team. In fact, some of the guys they're going to cut that are second and third team guys are going to start for other teams, by the end of the year. So,
and they've been working with the same coaches. Leslie Frazier has been up there. Yeah, they've been working with the same group, the same coaches. I know Daboll's gone, but they still had the culture in place. Mm-hmm. So, again, not an excuse, just an acknowledgement of where it looked like talent deficiency. That's actually a real thing here.
Well, yeah. there is the Bills are deeper than the Broncos. They just are. And then they've got the continuity. They've got, it's instinct for them. When Coach was talking about they were thinking too much out there, a lot of that is they've got new scheme, they got new stuff. They're still trying to remember, I'm supposed to do this instead of it just being second base instinct to just go do it. And so they're still trying to process that. It takes a while for you to get to that point.
Yeah. And even, when you have a team that's physical, they may have the physicality, but they're not 100% sure, like you said, what that responsibility is. Now, they practice it, tons and tons of times. Then, when the lights are on, it's a whole different story. Mm-hmm. And, a team may make an adjustment that you didn't anticipate. We didn't know what plays the Buffalo Bills were going to run. They didn't have any film to watch to, kind of get ready for the game. So they're just going off there, based off of what they've practiced. So, like I said, a lot of thinking was going on. I agree with you 100% there. But I think once the regular season starts, we'll have a little bit of an idea of what the team will be coming out in, at least the formations and adjustments that they'll have to make. That doesn't make up for the physicality, though. You're still going to have to bring that. You're going to have to jump up a couple of notches from where we are right now.
Okay, so knowing that it's going to be from what we have as the backups right now, depth players, to starters against Seattle, schematically, though, are we going to see thinking too much out there? Are we going to see the guys in position where they're going to be in the same kind of problem?
It's possible. I don't think it'll be as much, but the first 3 or 4 games, it's not going to be beautiful anyway. Just because we got new coaches, we got new players, got a new system, and these are games, and guys are full tilt, both sides of the ball. So it's not going to be perfect. So I don't want anybody to expect it to be perfect, but. I would say after the 3rd, 4th, 5th game of the season, then we'll get into a rhythm and we'll have a real idea of what this team is going to be. Because, it takes a little while to get there. But, by then, I think we'll know. Are we physical? Are we not physical? Do we know this system? Is this system a good system? How's the coach? How's he handling the different situations with time management and all the different calls that he makes? And I think Broncos Country is going to be happy. Nobody's happy now because you never like to get beat, whether it's preseason, whether me and Ryan races, and he can't beat me, but.
I mean, it's been a couple of years. Who knows? I've probably gotten faster.
Yeah, you've definitely gotten a step faster since then.
That's what everybody
a real
says.
thing that's really happened.
Oh, he took off those heavy shoes.
It was the shoes.
It was definitely the shoes. Of all the people talking about shoes, Ben, by the way, with the video that's gone viral of you falling down the hill, I don't think you should be talking to me at all about shoes.
I'm not embarrassed about that. I didn't lose anything but my dignity.
I mean,
the only thing you missed is when you went down the hill, you should have said,
yeah, and then done like the moonwalk, like slide my legs back or whatever. Yeah, I surfed down that AstroTurf. There was room on that door for both of us, Alexis.
Well, this is exactly how I expected us to end this show today. So thank you, Steve, for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Ryan, for having me.
You're the man. For Benjamin Allbright, I'm Ryan Edwards. Thanks for watching Broncos Country Tonight.
Denver's gonna win! You can stand up and salute in Denver, and you got the world champions that live in your town.